Well, if you're one of the 15 million 23andMe customers, listen up. The company is making headlines again over how it is going to handle your DNA.
That's right. This week, North Carolina Attorney General Jeff Jackson joined dozens of other attorneys general in filing a lawsuit against the company as it plans to sell off its assets.
Queen City News Chief Business Correspondent Taylor Young joining us now. And Taylor, we've been talking about concerns of this sale for months. What are some of the lawsuits? What is this trying to accomplish?
Yeah, so just last month, just to recap, we were up here talking about how 23andMe, after filing for bankruptcy earlier this year, finally found a bidder willing to buy the company for hundreds of millions of dollars. That was major news. It made headlines that day. And the question at that time was, okay, what does this mean for the millions of people who have given this company their private data? Well, what this lawsuit is essentially saying is that customers need total consent in order for you to do absolutely anything with it. And this all stems back to the day the acquisition was announced. Regeneron, a large biopharmaceutical company based in New York, offered to buy 23andMe for $256 million. Following that offer, Regeneron made a public pledge to comply with data privacy concerns when handling private DNA information. That does not mean, however, it won't access or use it. The company actually said it plans to use DNA data for drug development purposes. Now, in that lawsuit filed by Jackson's office yesterday, he says that decision should legally be left up to the people that the DNA belongs to. In a statement, Jackson said, quote, "Millions of people across the country and in North Carolina trusted 23andMe with their private genetic information, and the company has no right to sell off people's most personal data to someone else without their permission." And he also continues to encourage North Carolinians to delete their data off the 23andMe site while they still can.
So when this all happened, I think what took a lot of people off guard is that they didn't know that a company could actually sell their personal information in the first place. They thought, okay, once I give it to you, you're not going to do anything with it and sell it off.
Yeah, I think as a collective, we were a little bit naive. And I say collective because we were talking about 15 million people here. This is not just a one-off. So I think people saw this as an opportunity. I can do a DNA testing at home. It's exciting. I can learn more about myself, my ancestry, even maybe a little bit about my health. But they didn't read the fine print. And we mention this every time we talk about this topic, but 23andMe specifically said in their privacy policy that data may be shared or accessed in an event of a bankruptcy or acquisition. So just another reason why I think people should be reading the fine print. But then again, this lawsuit is kind of challenging whether or not that is legal in and of itself.
Okay, so what's happening with 23andMe? Are we expecting any impact on the broader DNA testing industry?
I think absolutely. And this is just going to continue to raise more and more concerns about customer data, not even in just this industry, but everything nowadays is requiring us to give, our address, so much information about ourselves. But I think this is also going to kind of touch upon how companies handle this kind of information when, again, there is a sale or bankruptcy, or if there's a breach, which we also know that there's a lawsuit targeting 23andMe over a data breach back in 2023. And on top of that, this is also just impacting the general trust in companies like this. We know, again, millions of people have already trusted companies like this with their DNA. The people that don't mentioned that a lack of trust is the biggest reason why. So I do think the biggest thing out of this lawsuit is that it could absolutely set a precedent for how companies handle DNA or private information moving forward. So it's something we'll be following.
Yeah, and remind us exactly about the depth of that lawsuit with that that hack, I guess I should say, or that breach.
Yeah, so pretty much this company experienced a data breach reportedly. And we're talking about private information about people's lineage, their DNA, their health concerns, really everything that you could possibly know about someone is in their DNA. A third party was able to reportedly access that information. We've seen that a lot over the last couple of years with a third party coming in, accessing information, maybe to potentially sell it on the dark web. Attorney generals across the country saw that as being hugely problematic and have filed a lawsuit over the past year on how the company actually handled that data breach. So there's a lot going on involving this company. So I don't think it's a surprise that people are kind of losing a lot of trust with it.
Yeah. All right, Taylor, thank you.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.